I've been wondering what an average guy like me who has a full-time job, family, kind of has to prioritize some things in life, which it doesn't look like I'm doing, but I try to. How long will it take an average Joe non-mechanic like me to do a head gasket repair on this car? So what I plan on doing is have a stopwatch that I'm going to start, and every time I'm working on the head gasket, I'm just going to run the stopwatch. I don't know how long it will take me, 5 days, 4 days. I'm giving myself a week. If I can't get it done in a week, then I'm going to scoot it out and turn my attention back to this car. But until then, I'm not going to try to do it really fast. I'm just going to go at an average pace to see what it would take to do a head gasket. So with that, time to start the watch and get going on the head gasket. So first, I am going to get it to top dead center. It's hard to get there when my light sucks. I don't know if you can see this. Let me bring you over. The crank reads top dead center, but as you can see, the rotor is pointed toward the back. It needs to be pointed up here to be top dead center, so we're 180 degrees off, or one full revolution. So I need to go rotate the crank. There we go. Got it. You smash all of my fingers up. Now as you can see, it's pointing towards the front corner of the car, towards the number 1 cylinder. When the line's at top dead center, top dead center. What is that? Well, at least at this rate, I'll be done in like 7 months. It's been pretty fun the last couple weeks since I've purchased this to get the comments and feedback from people telling me to walk away from the car, part it out. So I've kind of forgot to tell how I came into this car. I started looking for brakes. I came on to Copart, and I've never dealt with Copart, and I found this car, and it was for $175. Somebody had purchased it, and then it was gone. And I thought, man, I wish I could have bought the car for $175, and the buy it now price was $500. A few days later, I started looking at Copart. I hadn't been doing that. It's just a new happening. And this car came back on. I don't know if the sale fell through or what. And it was listed again for $175, but the buy it now price went down to $375. I quickly joined Copart. I paid the membership fees, and then I put in $175 bid on this car. And then because I'm crazy, I decided, you know what, this is going to be worth $375, and all I had were the same pictures that I showed in that first video, and I hadn't seen the engine bay or much else, just those 5 or 6 pictures of it. I didn't know it was in the interior. I just knew it was really dirty. So I just bought it now for $375, and what that came to with the fees and everything was $670. So this car in total cost $670. I just got the valve cover off, and I wanted to see if any of you could see anything wrong with what came from the valve out of the valve cover. Not here, not here, closer to this area, not over here. So this was in the valve cover, and look, it was pinched in the valve cover. This is kind of what I mean by just not properly taken care of. Let's keep digging. A lot of people are telling me, man, you're gonna put $15,000, $20,000 into this to restore it. The idea isn't to restore it to perfection. I am going to restore it and make it look fun. I just want a toy at this point. So I forgot to tell all that backstory, so I was just letting everybody know how I came about that. I'm really excited about this car. Even if this engine's garbage, I'm still planning on finishing this car and then getting this running, and I'm hoping that's going to take place no later than the middle of this upcoming summer. Try to get it running really quick. If I can get it running, I will drive it until it dies. There we go. Oh yeah, little corrosion. She might be down on some compression. However, I think we got a runner. I don't know what this gold crap is. Let's see where our head gasket failed if we can. Look at that. 1/2 inch. I'll keep it. They look like they're corroded like right here. Oh, and right there. Right there is a failure looking point. Alright, let's clean out this WD-40. So I got the head off in 2 hours and 23 minutes. There's some surface damage to the cylinder. It has a lot of miles on it, looks like. Which is odd, because the car doesn't look like it has a lot of miles on it. And those head gaskets were on there a long time. Alright, a few things that I need to address. One, this never happened. I never did this. And if you tell people I did, I will deny it. And the second thing, never do this. So at this point, I'm just taking a razor blade, like a normal razor blade, and just scraping the surface and trying to get as much material as I can off. And I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know if this is the proper way to do it, but guess what? That's what I'm doing. I spent an hour and a half with the razor blade leveling out the surface, and I'm pretty convinced now. It's encouraging because I think that this block can be saved when it's time to pull it out, and if it hasn't been overbored already, then I think this engine's salvageable. So just as a learning lesson for me, that it takes a significant amount of time to be able to get the head where it's needed to be. So now is time to put in the head gasket. I'm going to see if this is the right head gasket, which it appears to be. There and there. The only difference are these big water jackets are just significantly different. Okay, time to put the head on. Make sure some of these things are in the way as much as possible to make this harder, because these only weigh 50 pounds or so. I think I can, seems like I should be able to finagle it into that area. You know, some aluminum heads would be really fantastic at this point. Yeah, these are so heavy. Here's some tender persuasion. Now some head bolts. So I'm not very good at explaining this. I'm putting rods in. Here's the best way I can explain it. Engine's at top dead center with the distributor pointing to first cylinder, which is on top dead center. It's going to spark on that one. Now you look at the firing order, 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So the next cylinder to fire is going to be number 8. So I rotate the crank 90 degrees and the distributor will be pointing on 8. Number 8 will be top dead center. So I will adjust those valves first. Rotate it 90 degrees and then number 4 cylinder will be at top dead center. This will be pointing at number 4. And I adjust those valves. So every 90 degrees is the top dead center of one of the pistons. Takes 2 full rotations to get through the cycle of the entire engine. Basically, what it comes down to is I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's what I'm going to be doing. That's how I know how to do that. 90 degrees, now it should be on 8, so we can tighten 8 down. 0 lash, now turn this again. Another 90 degrees, we'll put it on cylinder 4. Then the last one, and there we have the valves adjusted beautifully. It takes an average man 5 hours, 46 minutes, and 23 seconds to do head gaskets. That 5 hours and 46 minutes is a give or take. I did this side only. The majority of the effort came in cleaning the surface of the block and the cylinder head. I spent about an hour and a half on that. So if I were gonna do 2, I'd probably add another 3 hours to the entire job. If you're an average guy doing this, so expect, 6 to 8 hour job doing it if you've never touched the engine before. I knew nothing about this engine, kind of had to figure the crossfire intake out on my own. Wasn't that bad of a job. The things average guy learned in doing this job. 1, I should have made more room for myself. I parked right next to my C3. I just got done cleaning the body and getting this section done for painting, and I've rubbed up against it 4,000 times and I re-dirtied the fiberglass, so I'm gonna have to really clean that again. And second, it was really hard for me to take this apart and not clean things. I didn't clean valve covers or the intake. I just put them all back on really greasy. That's not normal of how I would prefer to do it, but I know after looking at that cylinder number 8 that this engine, if it even runs at all, is not going to be in the car for very long before I have to take it out and rebuild it or soup it up or something to that effect. Other thing I learned was, as an average guy, if you're an average grease monkey, lighting is really important. This light really sucks. No matter where I put it, it's always in my eyes. I've dealt with this for 15 years. I don't know why I haven't found a solution. But that alone was exhausting to me. Kind of a fun experiment. I assumed this was going to take me a little longer because I have only taken apart engines. I have never put one together yet, and that was extremely enjoyable. Not as enjoyable as driving it and doing burnouts, but pretty enjoyable otherwise. I'm going to keep going to work. Now I got my body mounts to slap on there, so I'll be continuing to go on with that. Next video, it will have new body mounts, and hopefully the steering wheel gets here so we can at least get it to a point where I can turn a key. So thanks for watching.